Of late in the West, retail chains are abandoning self-checkout tills and going back to staffed counters. In contrast, in Korea, there is a continuous increase in the number of self-checkout machines. Now, I've been living in Korea since 2007. I don't remember seeing a single self-checkout counter during the first few years. But since 2015, self-checkout counters have increased in numbers, and that number continued to grow during the COVID pandemic. So why does the self-checkout system work here in Korea, whereas it doesn't work in Western countries? In the beginning, the primary reason given for self-checkout counters was to reduce cost, labor cost. The idea was that installing and running 6 machines would cost lower than hiring, training, and paying 6 employees. Fast forward to now, the primary reason given for these self-checkout counters being abandoned in the West is an increased shrink rate. It's an industry term used to describe losses from theft, lost inventory, or damaged goods. Which brings us to the first question. Do Koreans not steal? With the exception of an umbrella or a bicycle, you're highly likely to get back most of your lost or missing items in Korea. Mark Manson, the author of the book The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F, in a recent video titled Can a Country Make You Depressed, had this to say about Korea.
Korea seems to have kept the worst parts of Confucianism, the shame and judgment.
It's this shame and judgment that serves as a deterrent to theft. Korea is a small country in terms of land mass. It has 50.3 million internet users, of which 48.34 million are active on social media, which is about 93.4% of the total population. And that puts it third on the list in terms of highest usage percentage globally. Any slip you make could get recorded and put online on the internet for posterity. Shame is a big part of Korean culture. From nutty chaebols who turn a plane back to violent offenders, everyone is permitted the luxury of a pop walk, which is meant to shame them in public. And you tend to see this drama play out every now and then. So if someone were to get caught stealing in a public place like a shopping mall and then end up on the internet, that could figuratively and literally push them off the edge. So, stealing isn't as common as it may be in the West. Koreans are always quick to embrace technology. In May 2020, 5G cell phone towers in the West were being vandalized or burned to the ground due to the 5G towers' proclivity to spread coronavirus. At that same time, it had already been a full year since Koreans had used 5G without the towers spreading coronavirus. And even when the pandemic did hit, Koreans were quick to get vaccinated, and the country went on during the pandemic without a single nationwide shutdown. Moreover, during the pandemic, more people preferred the unmanned counters to the point where the number of self-checkout counters significantly increased among the top 3 retail stores. HomePlus currently operates about 500 self-checkout counters in 90 stores. Lotte Mart has about 1,100 in 110 stores, and Emart has a total of 1,400 self-checkout counters in 150 stores. Korea, and Seoul in particular, is an introvert's wet dream. Most cities globally have a reputation where people don't talk to strangers and keep to themselves. But it seems a lot more pronounced here in Korea. Small talk is almost non-existent in Korean culture, more so in big cities like Seoul or Incheon. A study was done by the Korean Consumer Agency in November 2022. Among the people asked, 75% of those in their 20s preferred non-face-to-face transactions at retail stores, and the number gradually fell at higher age groups. Most young people in Korea grow up glued to their cell phones, and for them, talking to a human would be an unnecessary social evil that can be avoided. These self-checkout counters provide a reassuring and wonderful opportunity to avoid these social encounters. In a bustling city like Seoul, which has a total of almost 10 million people, even a trip to the market can be a time-consuming process. Koreans, who are notoriously overworked, average a total of 13 extra hours per month than the average of the OECD countries. In order to find and save time, Koreans have embraced a pali-pali culture and have no time to stop and discuss the weather with a random stranger. Self-checkout counters are here to stay in Korea. No, scratch that. Self-checkout counters are here to grow and expand. In fact, they're also now available in the popular chain store Daiso and also at the fast fashion outlet Uniqlo. I believe the number of self-checkout counters will continue to keep rising till the day they start talking.
Hi. How you doing?